Honourable President. I think the fact of the matter is that under your leadership, our country is poorer and inequality is growing. And in fact, we are now confronted with reports that children as young as 8 are committing suicide because of the deep levels of poverty and despair at home. And I think this should give us all sleepless nights. And you should know that these vulnerable citizens rely on a social grant alone. And you should be aware that there's currently no deal between SASSA and SAPO to pay out our grants, which means another fiasco is looming. Now, I want to ask you, Honourable President, as the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee looking at this issue, what have you done in the past 7 months to avert another SASSA crisis? Can you outline the steps that you have taken, Honourable President? And would you take personal responsibility for once for this ongoing saga? Because it is you who keep rogue ministers in their positions. I thank you.
On a point of order.
Honourable Hadebe, what's the point of order?
With due respect, Honourable Speaker, that's the new question that was just reserved. Thank you.
Is the President ready to answer that question?
Yes.
I will allow Honourable President to proceed.
Yeah, just to help those who need information. I'm happy that the Honourable Member started at a real problem of poverty. You see, if we talk about poverty as if it just mushroomed now, we don't talk about the causes of this poverty, we are missing the point. We'll even fail to understand the efforts that government is making today. Poverty is a direct baby of apartheid, particularly to the majority. They were deprived of everything, and they grew up as a huge kind of size of big one of the blacks, without jobs, without education, because apartheid thought that they don't need education because they're not going to work at important places. All they needed to do was just to know how to communicate with the bus. That is where the problem comes from. Don't present the problem of poverty as a problem of this government. This government is solving that problem. The reason why we have got such a huge scheme to look after those who are extremely hungry is a direct product of the system of apartheid. That, if that is understood, you will then understand why we are taking all these measures. Why we have SASSA, whatever you talk about, is to address the problems that were created by a system of apartheid. What has happened in the process of this, because of the problem that emerged within SASSA, we then established this committee. This committee has been meeting, discussing issues. I've been chairing it. Right now, I have talked with the Minister of Finance. They are finding a solution on one part of many things that are being resolved. The relationship between the post office and the department. And this is being addressed. The Minister of Finance is meeting both departments to discuss and solve that problem. Because we have to solve it, we have no alternative. Because it has to be solved. So I'm aware of it, I've chaired those meetings. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Maimane.
Mr. President, what is not a problem of apartheid is Minister Bathabile Dlamini. As Minister of Social Development, she's leading from one crisis to the next. And now there's a looming crisis that you've just described. Truth of the matter is that Minister Bathabile Dlamini is incompetent. She simply can't do the job of delivering grants to the people of South Africa. Now, what I want to understand, she's sidelined officials. It's clear that there's another crisis looming. What I want to know is why, Mr. President, while you are reshuffling every other month, why have you kept Minister Bathabile Dlamini in her job despite her incompetence when poor South Africans are there?
The Honorable the President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know why the Honorable member is saying all the problems we face are not the problems of apartheid. Why are you defending apartheid? You were a victim of apartheid, you. I don't know why you defend it. Absolutely, I don't understand. You defend apartheid. Woo.
I never said that. I
Order,
never said that.
Order. Honorable
I
Steenhuisen,
have
please
just said,
take your seat.
Madam Speaker,
No, take your seat, Honorable Steenhuisen.
are you going to allow the President to twist
No,
the truth
take your
in
seat,
this
Honorable
House?
Steenhuisen. Take your seat.
I know he's used to twisting the truth, but that's a step too
Honorable
far.
Steenhuisen, take your seat. Please proceed, Honorable President.
Madam Speaker, people should ask questions directly. They should not start wondering, because I'm going to follow their wondering when I answer questions. They must ask a question directly, because the insinuation that ministers who are trying to solve the problem of apartheid, they are not a problem of apartheid. They are a problem of who? Who created the problem in this country? I'm answering that question. That's why I'm saying the honorable member who was also oppressed, how can he say apartheid did not do damage? The damage is done by us now. Can't be correct. You say Bathabile is not a problem of apartheid. It's a problem of what? I'm answering you. You come with meandos, I answer with meandos. Easy. Ask the question, I will answer the question. Bathabile is dealing, Minister Dlamini is dealing with the problem of solving the problem that emerged, and we have a committee that I've just described that has discussed the solution, and we are finding a solution. That is the matter that we are dealing with, and that is the answer to the question. Firstly, the judge or the court, the constitutional court, gave an order to that minister, did not give an order to any other person. That minister has to do that order. Now, if you remove her, who is going to implement that order? Who? She has to deliver on the order of the constitutional court. What will I say to the constitutional court that they say this minister must deliver and I shift this minister? What is that? She has to deliver on the order of court. That's why she's there to do so. Thank you, Madam Speaker.